if you're looking for something to prepare other than chicken, pork, or beef, we have the great suggestion for you today. She's a popular caterer right here in Central Virginia, and she shows our own Evan Armour how to make a delicious dish featuring lamb. Take a look.
We are back in the virtual Virginia This Morning kitchen and super excited to be with our next guest, Chef Theresa Headen from Elegant Cuizines. Good morning, Chef.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. So excited to be with you today. And we're going to be doing something extra special today in the kitchen. You have a great idea if we're looking for a date night in. Tell us about that.
Yes. You know, now, especially with the pandemic, it just makes sense that we will all be eating at home, right? And so if you and your husband or whoever, you just want to spend time at home, and this could be something easy that you can kind of do together. So that way you're cooking together, you're bonding, you're learning about each other even more. And so this meal is going to kind of help you do that, create a really perfect date night at home.
You always have such beautiful, delicious, colorful recipes. What are we going to be making today?
So today we're making a ginger orange sesame lamb chop with some butternut squash green bean stir fry. It is going to be amazing. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm not even a meat eater and I want to eat this meal.
That sounds absolutely delicious. So let's go ahead and get started. What's our first step for this?
Okay, so for this meal, we are using brown sugar. We have ginger. We're using fresh ginger roots. You can use ginger powder, but I prefer to use ginger root. I feel like you get more of the flavor. We're using some fresh parsley. We have the orange, and of course, we have the sesame seeds. So in here, we're going to put our brown sugar in this really nice big bowl, and we're going to squeeze in some fresh orange. Now, you could do orange juice, but I feel like, again, whenever you use fresh ingredients, it just gives the food a different taste. It's natural, it's healthy, but then it's like sophisticated. Like orange juice, it's been through some things, but the oranges, you can just squeeze it in there, right?
Kicks it up a notch, makes it even better, right?
Yeah. And so just one orange does the trick. Like you see all that nice juice in there. And so I'm going to add the ginger in there. And then I have garlic powder and onion powder mixed in here. And I'm going to pour that in there. And everyone know I already use my own spice because I don't cook with salt. And so I'm going to add a little bit of that in there. And then I'm going to add the sesame seed. And I'm using white sesame seed. You can use any kind of sesame seed. You have the black ones. You have the ones that's already roasted. And it doesn't matter. It's not going to change the flavor of the food. And so
about how much are you putting in there?
So this is so bad. I almost feel like I tell you how much I'm putting in there. I feel like with the sesame seed, if you were really measuring this, just a teaspoon is fine. And then the brown sugar was a half a cup of brown sugar. The ginger, when you grate it, like a nice, good full tablespoon of ginger was good. And then the garlic powder was like a teaspoon of the garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion. And Perfect. So you got all of that all mixed up. And see, it's nice and it smells really good. It smells really nice and fresh. It has that citric to it. So all I'm going to do is just put my lamb chop in there. You see that?
That
and so
good.
Once I get that sitting in there, I'm going to get this pot on the stove because we're going to grill the lamb chop. And I'm using olive oil to grill the lamb chop. You can use olive oil now. I feel like so many people are using so many different oil. You have sunflower oil, flaxseed oil, grapeseed oil. So you can use whatever oil is your preference. Once I already have this nice and seasoned, I can just set it to the side. And so then, of course, obviously, if you was working on your butternut squash and your green beans or your red onions, and that's again for the colors. So you see the nice color. You have some orange in there, some green, a little bit of purple. So I've already cut it up. And so all I would do is add mine. All-purpose spice again. And this time, I'm going to add a little bit of fresh parsley. And then I'm also going to add some fresh rosemary into this right here. And so all you will do with this one is just put all of this ingredient together, mix it up, and put in a separate pot so it can grill. And you can always put it in the oven too if you want, but I feel like if you put it in the oven, the consistency of the green beans and the butternut squash will not cook the same. So it's better to just grill it on top of the stove. And then with this lamb chop, you don't want the green beans to be overcooked. So it's better, again, if you're grilling it on the stove top, so you're not overcooking the green beans. And so I'm going to go ahead now and put these lamb chops on the stove. It's gonna be a little sizzling, so.
All right, here we go. Ready for the sizzles.
Okay. But now
Oh
that's
yeah, we
cooking.
can hear that. We
Right?
can
You can
definitely
hear
hear that.
that?
Yes.
Mhm.
I wish we could smell it. I'm sure it smells delicious in there.
I wish you could smell it. I wish you could taste it. It's like so many things that, even though we can still do this at home, we wish we could have the effects of being a part of it. But at least you can still film it.
Absolutely. And I feel like this is great. There are so many steps and it's, simple enough, but there's enough going on that if you're doing this, as a date night in, one person can have these tasks, another can have another.
Mhm.
And at the end, you're
Yep.
going to have a beautiful dish.
Yes, and then of course I feel like the ingredients are super simple. There's not a lot going on, so you don't have to be like, oh my God, what if I don't have this? What if I don't have that? You have like garlic powder, onion powder, and of course my all-purpose spice. And of course they know they can order that from me directly. And so I feel like the ingredient is just super simple, and anyone can make this at home as a date night dish.
Absolutely. So what are we going to do next? What do we have coming up next for this recipe
So
for our date night in?
next, we're gonna grill our butternut squash and green beans. Turn you down a little. Okay, and so now I got the pot on for grilling our butternut squash and green beans. And I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to that so that we can, first let me show you this lamb chop before I move forward so you can see.
That looks good.
Grill. And so I'm gonna set that to the side so that we can grill the butternut squash and the green beans. And I'm gonna just add a little bit of olive oil into the pot. We don't need that much. And if you were measuring it, it's like a tablespoon of olive oil. And then once it gets hot, I'm gonna add the butternut squash and the green beans.
So we have about 2 minutes left. Are you going to put both of those in there at the same time, or do we need to cook them at different times?
So I'm gonna put both of them in there at the same time because the whole idea is that we don't want to, like I said, we don't want to overcook the green beans or the butternut squash because you still want it to kind of have like this crispy effect. And so I already have some already cooked for you so that way you can see what the meal is gonna look like once everything is done together.
And we can already see, I know everything's not plated yet, but out of the corner there, we can see your trademark, a beautiful, colorful plate already. Those oranges and those greens, it looks so good.
Yeah, and it smells, the fresh rosemary just gave it like this. It just smells so good. Like, okay. And so now we're going to add these to the plate. That looks so good. I don't eat meat, but this looks so good. I'm hungry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get this sauce in this pot really quick so we can put this on top of the plate just to give it a little dressing. And you guys will cook here. Okay. So I'm not done yet, but this is so far what's happening here. And so we're gonna add a little bit more of that fresh rosemary in there. The sauce in this pot is the leftover sesame sauce that the lamb chop was in. That So I'm just gonna grill it. Just mix it up a little bit just to get the sugar to kind of melt down. And then
are we gonna drizzle that on top?
Just to give it that nice citric taste. That way you can still taste the orange with the sesame seed and all of that good stuff that was in the pot, the ginger, all of that. And so we're gonna go ahead and get this, and we're gonna do this right here. Oh, this is gonna be really good. I get so excited because I'm like, oh my God, this is like, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Absolutely.
So
all right, let's see the plate. Let's see it. That looks so good. That looks perfect. The perfect thing to put on the menu, for a date night in. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Chef Headen. We are very excited to try this at home. We will be sure to include the recipe on our website, also some more information so you can find out more about Chef Headen and also Elegant Cuisines. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you guys for having us again.